All right, we're trying this again. I'm new to Facebook Live, so hopefully you guys will bear with me, and hopefully you can hear me as well. Wow. Okay. Trying. Brian. There we go. Can you hear me okay?
Yep. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you.
All right.
I'm not sure who's hearing us.
Okay. That's all right.
The cool thing about this is, this is where we get to just we get to learn and for lack of a better term, just grow. You know what I mean? Hopefully, people will get on. They've got some questions, and we'll take a couple minutes here and go. But there's at least one person besides us. I don't know who else is on here, but hopefully, what they'll do is they'll at least we'll get some questions in here, um, or comments at the very least. But why don't you kind of let everybody know a little bit about what your journey has been like as a special needs parent? Because the manner in which yours differs from mine is that the resources that are available to us today, that you didn't have those options in your case. So why don't you talk a little bit about that, your background, and how we're on this course that we're on today, and what has me so privileged to work with you.
Sure. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Jordan is now 24 and a half. So I guess 23 years ago. So, well, I'll go back to even before that, when Risa, my first wife, when Risa was pregnant with Jordan, she developed during pregnancy, a pregnancy rash, which is a very rare situation, right? It doesn't happen to many. There's not a lot of reasons that have been found to define what causes it. But when you're pregnant and you have a rash and it's horribly itchy and you can't put creams on it, you can't treat it the way you would normally treat a rash, right? So Risa would have to, do ice baths and sit in cold water. It's, horrible to try to relieve the itch, and it was bad. And again, don't know if that had anything to do with her system or anything internal. Once she gave birth, and I'm sorry that my camera's a little shaky. I'll try to settle down here. Once she gave birth, it went away. Like it went away instantly. And Jordan was a C-section delivery, so it was pretty clean. Although
Right.
during the process of labor at the hospital, there was a period of time where the doctors had to come in emergency because they had a baby monitor on and her blood pressure had dropped, and so they came in and like, we got to do a C-section. Let's do it now. It was almost an emergency situation, right? So we don't know if any of these factors all contributed to the issues that that we later discovered with Jordan. When she was, as a toddler, she was so adorable and cute. Didn't really notice anything except that my mother, at certain milestones, my mother was like, she's not really babbling. That was the term that she used. Like, she's not really babbling the way she's supposed to, and maybe there's something going on there. And we're like, oh no, she's fine. But my mother kept, insisting, and so we thought, all right, can't hurt. We took her to a doctor, and they checked her hearing, thinking maybe there was something going on with her hearing. They said, no, her hearing is fine, but just to rule things out, if you want to go see a neurologist, if you have concerns, here's a great neurologist in San Fernando Valley in California. Go and, see the neurologist and see if there's something there. And so we went and saw this doctor and sat in her office, and within 5 minutes of sitting down with us in the office, and literally she came around her desk, she held Jordan's hands, she said, "Can you stand on one foot?" Jordan was maybe 18 months, maybe 19 or 20 months. She was
Yeah.
just a peanut. Um,
Right.
Within that 5 minutes, she went around back to the back of her desk and just started typing on her computer. Jordan Altounian, 18 months old, or again, I remember the exact age. She presents with microcephaly and blah, blah, blah. And she just kept like talking out loud what she was putting in her file. And we were like, wait a minute, what are you, hello, what are you talking about? And I sort of joke about this, but I think it's, just to protect myself, but it was like a Peanuts cartoon where, the adults all sound like wah, 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 because that's kind of what happened. And she was like, oh, well, Jordan's issues with microcephaly are, there's some things to be concerned about. And that was the beginning of what ended up being about a two hour consultation with this neurologist. And she said, basically, microcephaly means, if you break the word down, it's micro, which means small, and cephaly or cephalus having to do with the head, small head. That's just means that it's related to developmental issues, potential developmental issues, because the head size
Right.
develops with the size of the brain, and your brains actually, as your brains develop, it actually expands your head size. I don't know what that means. I have a huge melon, so I don't know. I don't think I'm particularly smart, but anyways, we said, like, if you could just stop with all the medical stuff and just tell us what the issues are. And she said, well, she's going to have learning disabilities, and she probably will not graduate from high school. She probably won't be able to have a job or drive or live alone. And, you're going to have to put her through special education, her whole life. And that was the beginning of the process where, again, the rest of it just was like, oh, I don't remember. And as a parent, you're like, what did I do wrong? Or did I do something? Was there something we could have done? Was it the pregnancy? Was it the rash? Was it something that happened in the hospital? We're trying to find the reason why this thing occurred. And I think that's generally what happens with parents.
All the doctor told you is what she was not going to be able to do, not what she might
Right.
be able to do, or even. So why don't you do this? Why don't you tell? And there's only one person I think watching right now. Kim Barbell Johnson is actually from St. Thomas, like myself. Thank you for joining us, Kim.
Nice.
And I'm sure other people will see this when they look at it later on when it's not live. But why don't you let it be known exactly where Jordan is right now and what she's doing now, despite what she was never supposed to be able to do, including drive, live on her own, or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah. She, just we had her go into a bunch of different schools, the things that would make her, succeed. Her mother and I are no longer together. Her mother lives in upstate New York. Jordan moved to upstate New York about 3 years ago, and she was living on her own, had a job, got her driver's license, drove a car to that job, was successful living on her own. And in our business, she actually joined our business and got a license, passed the California insurance exam. So she was a licensed California insurance producer. And then a month ago, I was back east in upstate New York, even during the COVID crisis, to celebrate her wedding. So she just got married. She and her husband now are building out the upper floor of a house in upstate New York, where they are, they're planning their future, they're planning their life. And all of the things that the doctors, neurologist told us she wasn't going to do, she's done all of them and then some, and succeeded. And it's a good story, but 24 years of not sure what we were going to do and what the future looked like for any of us.
Right. Yeah. And that's fantastic. And so for myself, you and I met working in financial services together. That's kind of what where our mission brought us together. And I worked in corporate America, but I didn't, your experience, for those of you watching, Brian worked as a CEO, raising funds and taking companies public, and making successes, of them in many cases, and had, work that most people would think would have him, set and satisfied and fulfilled and things of that sort. But we were both led to this industry and the firm that we're honored to work with. And found that, most people are not given financial education or service or anything like that. Those are things that are usually reserved for the wealthy. And, um, right now, more than ever, people are experiencing tremendous amounts of uncertainty. And it's interesting, we I like to think that I step in other people's shoes and try to figure out what it's like, because you have so many experiences or people don't do that for you. And so when a lot of people are up in arms about the economy being closed and they want it to open, there are some people out there that are just like, I don't want to wear a mask. I don't want anything taken away from me in terms of my freedom. And the economy should open back up, and that's it. But you know what I never stopped to think about is, for a second today, especially, I thought, let me think about getting into somebody else's shoes. Some of those people that are really upset, they're not just on a side of the political fence where they don't want to wear a mask, they don't want to be told what to do, and there's an ideological or racial philosophy involved. Some of them are just outright scared because of insecurity, especially when, if they own a small business and they have no way of generating profit, they're not sure what's going to take place. So then when you couple that with people that then have children with special needs, the uncertainty is extremely high. And for us, we've had some challenges. My son Elijah is 14 years old, was diagnosed at the age of 3 with autism, and I remember what that experience was like. We had him in early intervention. My wife had 2 daughters from a previous marriage. I had not been a parent yet, so that, in addition to maybe being a guy, I thought everything he did was cute and didn't see anything wrong at all. Did no delays, and so, at least I think, also because girls tend to mature faster, that that was her comparison. So her thought is like, at this stage he should be doing A and B, and he's not. Something's missing there. And
Yeah.
so I didn't see that. We took him to the doctor. The doctor said, some of the things that you have concerns about are symptoms of autism. He said, the problem is, some of the things that you're concerned about are also behaviors of a normal child. I'm like, so what does that mean? Well, you put him in early intervention, they won't diagnose before the age of 3. They did, and when they did, they didn't even contact us. I made the phone call because they were like, look, we're supposed to know by today. Do you have any information? And the girl that I spoke with on the phone was like, what's his name? Gave her the name, date of birth. She said, give me one moment. Yeah, let me see. Yep, he has autism. Like it was
Oh
anchovies on a pizza or something.
God.
Just, yeah, he does. Yeah, like, so what else do you need? I'm like,
Yeah.
"No,
You
right
want
now,
some?
just need
Yeah.
to
You want a
adjust
soda
to
with that?
function.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so, um, and then you go from your own fears, which is like, nobody knows, nobody understands, nobody knows about my worry about, my kid's future, or what things are going to be like. And then you get to be part of support groups and things like that, which I've
Right.
had the privilege of being able to do and lead some of those groups, and then sitting on the Autism Parents Advisory Boards of Children's Hospital of LA. And no matter who you talk to, everybody's concerned about, okay, what does the future look like? What is my kid's future going to look like in a world where I exist only in memory? And it's the
Yeah.
type of thing where you can avoid talking about it all you want to. That's not going to make it go away. But especially in the last week, I've had conversations with people that have been referred to me that have told me. Just yesterday, I had a conversation with a young lady that said, I don't have anything in place as far as, like, beyond a little something for retirement, protection against loss of income, life insurance, will, trust, none of that kind of stuff. And she was so transparent with me in saying that, you know what, I put it off for a long time because this is very difficult to talk about, but I'm concerned about what happens, when I'm not here. And so, people may not have been as forthcoming about those things before, but with, the pandemic, people are concerned about their income, um, the future, retirement, debt, wills, trusts, and just having some semblance of control also. Because there's also people that are blessed to make a quote unquote decent living, but maybe don't have many other options and things like that. So, for those of you, watching, we're honored to be able to present solutions to those types of things. And I like people in most situations where, here's who I work for and here's what I'm offering. To be honest, it's more accurately, it's like, Here's what our concerns have been. We found some answers that were shared with us. How would you like to learn more? And some of it is just as simple as concepts and ideas and things of that sort that can give some sense of some semblance of hope, because there's not a lot of it that out there, and there are still people that you know don't want to talk about those kind of things, and it's not easy to talk about. I'd be lying if I said that it was, but we've seen some tremendous situations where um, you know people find the courage to at least get a foot in the door in terms of beginning the conversation, and that's where everything starts. And so
Well,
we're
eh,
looking forward to being able to do that tomorrow. Hmm.
yeah, and I would say, in our situation at the time that Jordan was diagnosed, we didn't have a lot of the internet research. The internet was around. Listen, it wasn't that long ago, but I mean, I remember. I think we may have even been on Prodigy or something like that, where it maybe was AOL, and I remember typing into a search engine at the time.
Are you frozen there, Brian? Ah, it's horrible. I don't know if you can even tell that he's frozen there. But anybody that is watching, please feel free to make a comment and chime in whether you have a question. Let's see if we can get Brian back. Mm, Give me just one moment here. Hmm. I'm going to try and get Brian back on here. I'm trying. Bear with me. Well, hopefully Brian will get back on with us. He's actually in the middle of doing his duty as a parent as we speak, in the middle of that. But anyway, if anybody wants to, make any comments about what their greatest concerns are as a special needs parent, um, you know, please feel free to do that, because we want everything that we do to be a collaborative effort as much as possible. Trying to get Brian back on here. Um, Please bear with me. I'm not sure what happened. It's not allowing me to get him back. Anyway, wow, that's horrible. Give me one more. Let's try this one more time. See if we can get him back with us. It won't allow me to resend the invitation to get him on here. Hello, Anthony. Thank you for checking in. Hmm. Yeah, it's not allowing me to do that. At any rate, I'll talk a little bit about what our event is tomorrow. There he goes. I'm trying. Why will it not allow me to do that? Now it's making me rotate the phone. Sorry, you guys. Trying. see if we can do this. Recording. There we go. Brian is rejoining us. Now it's saying can't bring him on camera. I have no idea why. Okay. Well, we won't be on a whole lot longer. What I want to do is just let everyone know about the event. I don't even know why it's rotated my image here. Wow. Okay. Well, technological challenges aside, I want to thank everybody for hopping on for the short time that we've been here. Our event tomorrow is geared towards bringing financial education, awareness, service, and opportunity to people in general, but especially those that love or care for someone with special needs. It is at 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on Zoom. If you wish to join us, which I hope you will, please send me a private message and let me know. We'll make sure we get you the link. And this event is geared towards us a national initiative that we are launching to build a bridge between the life that people have and the one that they want, especially for those that love or care for someone with special needs. And will be probably about 45 minutes to an hour, somewhere around there. But again, it's 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hope that you will join us tomorrow. Sorry I'm sideways, but we'll get this taken care of and have it a whole lot better the next time around. Thank you so much for joining us.